Greetings everyone, and I hope you're all happy and healthy out there. And welcome back to the channel for another quarter scale statue unboxing and review. Today's a very special day here at Go Figure. You're probably wondering why you're staring at a brown shipper. There is a good reason for that. And I have to say, I am feeling like a 7-year-old on Christmas morning. So I'll take a deep breath, compose myself, and we'll get into it. What we're going to be taking an up-close look at today is a quarter scale, custom-built and hand-painted Engineer from the 2012 Ridley Scott directed prequel to Alien, Prometheus. Specifically the engineer who appears in the prologue to the movie, who arrives on Earth before life exists and consumes the black liquid that will destroy him, but ultimately seed life on Earth. Now, due to the uniqueness of this piece, the review is going to take a slightly different format. As you can see, with this being a custom piece, there's no art box. And due to the complex way this statue was packaged for transit, there's only 5 pieces that it comprises of. So what we'll do is we'll go straight over the table and have a look at each individual piece. Then we'll have a look at the Engineer fully constructed, and then we'll wrap the whole thing up with the usual showcase at the end. Now, before we get into that though, some shout outs and a bit of background on this piece. I'd like to say a huge thank you to fellow collector Keith, who allowed me to become custodian of this piece. And he's a genuinely stand-up guy, a really nice guy. He also has a number of other amazing pieces he's currently selling on his eBay page, and there'll be a link to that page in the description below. And also, I'd like to send a huge thank you to everyone who's subscribed to the channel for your support. I know a lot of you out there watch our content without subscribing, so please turn your view into a subscribe. It's what keeps us going here at Go Figure, and it would make an old man very, very happy. I'd also like to say a massive thank you to my other half for tolerating my collection obsession over the years. She's put up with a house that looks like an Amazon depot, a house full of figures and statues and toys, and me shooting channel content at stupid o'clock and missing meals and generally being a dick. Love you babes, and I couldn't do it without you. So, a brief history of the piece itself. It started life as a kit, one of about 20 sold on eBay, made by, I believe, WAT SD. The original owner in Australia then had the piece professionally painted and assembled by Golf Studios in Thailand. Keith, who we mentioned before, then acquired the piece, and I acquired it from Keith. As far as I'm aware, this is the only one of the original kits that's been professionally assembled and painted, and it is unique in the quarter scale world as far as I'm aware. If I'm wrong about that, please let me know in the comment section below. But that's enough of my rambling. Let's go over to the table for a closer look at all the pieces that make up this Engineer. Okay, so here we are over at the table, and I thought we would do this in 2 sections simply because of the scale of this piece. What we're going to do first is we're going to take a look at the base, the cowl, and this small accessory, the smallest piece that comes with this this statue, and it is the cup of black liquid that the Engineer consumes prior to breaking down on a genetic level and seeding the Earth. Now, I believe all of this piece is made out of resin, and I think this is as well. It's simply a small black cup with this gold detailing on the edges there, on the sides. The paint application here is really nice. It looks airbrushed to me. The liquid itself inside, and I hope the camera's picking this up, is beautifully done, highly reflective. The light picks it up wonderfully. Looks absolutely spot on to the liquid itself, as you see it in the film, with these bubbles and lumps appearing on the surface there. And there's even some gold, what looks like gold paint application mixed in with the black as well. And yeah, very, very simple, very, very effective, and incredibly well done, incredibly realistic. So yeah, that is the black liquid itself. We'll put that to one side. Let's take a look at this cowl. Now, this cowl, as people who've seen the film will recognise the Engineer wearing this cowl prior to drinking the liquid. He then takes it off, drinks the liquid, and plummets down the waterfall. Now, it's a huge piece. I'm not even sure I'm going to get all this in shot. We'll lay it on the base itself. Essentially, it's just a very tightly knitted, weaved, what I believe is a cotton material, or it could be a wool. I'm not 100% certain what this material is. But the weave itself is really, really nice. It's not a solid colour. There's different shades of grey in there. There's some creams, there's some off-whites. The stitch work itself is really, really nice. Try and get this into shot. Yeah, the stitch work along the edges here and up the sides is very, very nice. It's 100% screen accurate in its style and its form and its colour. We're going to struggle getting all of this into shot, but we'll take a look at the top of the cowl itself. Now, there's the hood on the top of the cowl. Once again, completely screen accurate, and the edge of this hood is actually wired. So when you have it on the figure itself, you can shape it around the head to get that fall that you see in the film. So really great to see having the wire in there. So it really does add to the authenticity when you present it and display it with this particular piece on it. I am struggling as to which look I prefer the most, cowl on or cowl off. Right now it's cowl off, but to have this piece as well, because it adds a completely different dimension to the statue itself, as you'll see when we zip over to the showcase at the end. But yeah, it's very simply attached at the top. Around the neck area, you have this button fastening, which simply goes around this loop here, and then it simply falls down around the sculpt itself. So yeah, that's the cowl. We'll pop that to one side, and let's bring in this behemoth of a base. Now, this is an absolutely enormous base. Where to begin with this? We'll start on the bottom, actually, and I'm hoping I've got this the right way around. No, I haven't, so we'll just turn this round. And the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that probably for the first time in the history of this channel, I'm actually using gloves, and there's a reason for that. This is an exceptionally, I wouldn't say delicate piece, but I really am conscious of how this piece is treated for obvious reasons, which you'll see when we bring the sculpt out itself. So on the bottom there, you've got numerous felt padded feet. So if you're putting it onto glass or onto a shelf, you're minimising the movement of the piece and minimising the risk of any damage. On the bottom there, it says painted by Golf Studio. And as I mentioned in the opening to this review, that's the custom studio who actually assembled and painted this particular piece. We will attempt to put a link in the description below, along with a link to Keith's eBay page. But yeah, so what you've got here, once again, this is all resin, I believe, and is just a depiction of the top of the waterfall where the engineer stood in the prologue to the film. Now, I'll try and get this as close into shot as I can so you can see some of the detail. Really, really nice paint applications and detail here. There's multiple paint applications. There's greens, there's browns. The individual rocks are really, really well sculpted. You could say maybe it's a tad soft in places, but you know, I think it actually looks very, very screen accurate. Yeah, there's greens, there's browns. What really strikes me is the use of the gloss over the top of the white that they've used to represent the flowing water to give it that wet look. So you've got gloss applications in numerous places around the base itself to give it that wet look. That waterfall effect is continued around the back. There's some blues in those whites to give it the depth of colour. Multiple paint applications. There's fleckings of blue in the top here. Once again, on the top, you've got that use of gloss to give it that wet look, and a continuation of these greens and browns. And it's a very, very simple design, but an exceptionally effective one. These two slots here, obviously, are for the foot pegs. Yeah, there you have it. That is the base. It is a huge base. It's a very simple design, but incredibly well painted and well sculpted. I think the paint job here is truly phenomenal. It's my first experience of Golf Studios, and I have to say I'm incredibly impressed. So that is the base. So without further ado, let's bring out the engineer himself and take a close-up look at the pieces that make up the statue. Okay, so here we are down on the table with the two main pieces that actually make up the body of the engineer himself. We'll take a look at them individually, and pretty impressive they are too. First impressions are phenomenal of this piece, but I'm going to try and remain as subjective as I can. What we'll do is we'll take a look at these individually. First of all, we'll have a look at the legs. Now, Straight away, the proportions look absolutely spot on to me. They really do. The muscularity is there, the size is there. Yeah, fully on proportion, absolutely. But we'll start with the feet and work our way up, and just look at the level of the paint applications here and the quality of the sculpt. Feet are beautifully sculpted there, coming up to the ankles here with these large calf muscles, these enormous thigh muscles, and then this simple sort of wrap-around loincloth that he wears in the opening of the film. The sculpt is absolutely on point as far as I can tell. Really, really well done. It's the paint applications that really pop on this, though. I mean, it's my first experience of Golf Studios, and I have to say I am incredibly impressed. The level of detailing here in the airbrushing, there's purple flecking, there's pink flecking. You can see the sort of I'll call it the corruption, if you will, of the black liquid starting to take hold in the legs there. The muscularity is picked out, the bone work is picked out, the vein work, the intricacy of some of the vein work here, and I'll try and get this into shot, see if the camera can pick this up. There are purples that look like they're underneath the skin, there are pinks underneath the skin. There's multiple paint applications and shading to this as the black liquid is taking over. Just an absolutely phenomenal paint job on top of a really, really good sculpt. If you take a look around the back here, and I hope the light is doing this justice, just at the level of detailing on here is absolutely amazing. Let's take a look at this loincloth. Now, very, very simple. But just really nicely done. Screen accurate and exceptionally well painted. Once again, you've got yellows in here, greys. Although it might just look white from a distance, it isn't. It's been airbrushed in the creases there to highlight the creases. There's a frayed edge along the top here, which is beautifully done. Obviously, you've got the peg section there where the waist fits in. But yeah, overall, just a phenomenal piece of work. And as I say, it's my first experience of Golf Studios. The paintwork is phenomenal. And also, as I say, the sculpt itself is really, really just spot on, 100% spot on. So we'll put the legs to one side carefully. And the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that I'm actually using taking a lot of safety precautions with this particular statue. We've got this covering down to protect it from any scratching, and obviously I'm wearing gloves as I mentioned before. So let's take a look at the torso of this guy. Yeah, I'll have to lay this down ever so slightly so we can get him in shot. Yeah, bit lost for words here at just the level of detail that's going on here. Once again, the sculpt is absolutely spot on. The proportions there, the muscularity in the abdomen area, in the chest area, down the arms. The sculpt is nailed on, is completely nailed on. And once again, what really, really sets this off is this phenomenal paintwork. Once again, that corruption is more prevalent round the back here, but once again, you've got yellows, you've got purples. The airbrushing on here is simply phenomenal. It really is. And the shadowing around the muscles and the bones, the whole structure of the thing is just amazing. And the details, you can probably see, I'm going to bring this head sculpt right into shot so you can see just the fine work that has gone on with these veins is truly incredible. Let's get this head sculpt into shot as much as we can. It sort of speaks for itself. It really does. From the proportions to the screen accuracy to the colours, those eyes are phenomenal. There's a sadness and almost a wistfulness to the facial expression. Those veins are continued around the side of the face. Literally everywhere you look, there are minute details. They're absolutely incredible. There's a gloss being given to the lips, a glassiness to the eyes. Even though they are black eyes, there's just a hint of colour underneath them. I'm not sure whether the light's catching that. So they don't look completely black. There is some life to them, but overall, I have to say, I am absolutely blown away with this. Just holding this thing and the level of detail and the time and the effort and the care and attention that must have gone into producing this is truly spectacular. So yeah, there you have it. That's the two sections of the engineer's body. What we'll do next is we'll bring out the stand and we'll construct him, have a quick look at him fully constructed, and then we'll zip on over to the showcase as we always do. Okay, so here he is, the engineer himself, fully constructed, on the base, all the bits put together. As you can probably tell, I'm struggling getting all of him in shot. You'll get a much better idea of all the details when we do the showcase at the end. But we thought we'd do this section here just so we can do our final thoughts and wrap the whole thing up before that showcase. Yeah, we'll pan down. He is absolutely huge when he's on his stand, which is in keeping with the engineers. Let's just pan down so you can look at some of these details. We'll start with the base. Base, phenomenal. Very simple, but incredibly effective, beautifully sculpted and amazingly well painted. Then moving up to the engineer himself. Well, literally, forgive the pun, a feat of engineering. The sculpt is absolutely on point. The proportions 100% nailed on. The paintwork, I know I keep banging on about it, but that paintwork is truly phenomenal in capturing that almost translucent effect of the skin with those purple and pink hues. The vein work that we talked about is incredible, and the areas that are black and are starting to succumb to the black liquid are just fantastic. That loincloth, superbly sculpted, superbly painted. Let's continue up. That head sculpt, phenomenal. I love the pose they've chosen for this, and the fact that he's not looking directly at us, he's looking off into the distance with his head slightly raised, and it captures that moment in the movie where he throws his robe to one side, he throws that cowl to one side, consumes the liquid. It starts to hit him and he looks up to the sky just before the intense pain hits him, and then he starts to crumble into the waterfall. I think the pose they've chosen here is phenomenal. I was a little bit concerned that having that head looking off up high wasn't quite right, but when you have it in hand, when I have it in hand, I am now completely convinced it was the right option to go for. So yeah, there you have it. That is the huge statue that is the engineer from Ridley Scott's Prometheus. Final thoughts. Well, I think you know where this is going. I am absolutely blown away by this. I really am. I think it is an amazing piece. I'm really, really honoured to have it in the collection. It will be taking pride of place as a centrepiece in the collection. It'll be getting its own plinth and its own particular space in the collection room. Yeah, a score out of 10. Well, it's a done deal. It's a 10. It's an absolute 10. If I could score it higher, I would. It's not just its uniqueness, but it's the level of detail, the quality of the sculpt itself, the proportions, the pose that's been chosen by the sculptor, the paint applications. As I say, as my first venture into golf studios, I am absolutely blown away. The paint applications that they've achieved here are, well, they've done wonders. They've done things with paint that I didn't think were even possible. So there you have it, an absolute nailed on 10 out of 10. It's Golf Studios' take on the engineer from Prometheus. What remains for me to say is thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope you enjoyed this statue as much as I am enjoying it. Please comment in the comment section below. What's your take on this particular statue? I know the film can be divisive, but I'm purely looking at the statue here. So yeah, let me know. What are your thoughts on this? I suppose all that remains for me to say is thank you for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon. We have lots more content coming up. What have we got coming up? In the quarter scale world, we've got Prime 1 and Blitzways, Paul Atreides, that's on its way. We have got, in the 6 scale world, HH Model, Achilles, and Hot Toys Catwoman, the version 2.0 on that one. Obviously, we're all still waiting on In Art the Batman. That hopefully will be arriving, fingers crossed, sooner rather than later. Caustic Plastics, Horror of Dracula, the Cushing and Lee double pack, that's coming hopefully very soon. In the 12 scale world, we've got NECA, Evil Dead 2 Anniversary double pack, the It Pennywise Ultimate Edition, we've got some T2 and Predator stuff. Also in the accessories section, we will be looking at some rather nice individual cases that'll be coming in pretty soon as well. But yeah, that's just some of the stuff that's coming up. There's a lot more. So please, as I mentioned before, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon. And I suppose all it remains for me to say from the engineer and from myself, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.